Hi guys, John Christian is here on the Solcial show. Today we will be talking on technical FAQ of the Solcial network. The P2P network. Do well to download the app for better understanding. Firstly, let me ask this question and as well provide the answer. How can social networks be decentralized if all data is stored on centralized servers? With Solcial, the data is stored on IPs and accessed through the P2P network. Essentially, each user using the Solcial app on their phone or on desktop will be running his own IPs node, broadcasting his data and the data of his friends to other peers' nodes. Another one, do you have some centralized parts? Would you have anything stored on Oz or your own servers so that an audit or government intervention can shut you down? The first version will have some centralized components in the early stage where the content, posts, feeds etc. will be stored on centralized servers. With this first version we mainly want to test all the token-related operations, minting, trading, swapping etc., which will all be done on the Solana testnet. While the V1 is being launched, we'll simultaneously roll out the P2P network progressively. It should be seamless for users, until everything is as decentralized as possible. The goal is to maximize censorship resistance while not giving away a smooth and fast user experience. Choosing this way of releasing this early milestone helps us polish the functional and social aspects of the network without adding an extra layer of complexity and variables in the form of a P2P protocol. Another question is, how do Solcial plan to roll out the P2P network? The P2P network rollout will be gradual for all users. The first users will be able to opt into the P2P version, and once we reach sufficient adoption we'll likely to precate the centralized version. The goal of the V2 will be to decentralize our backend, making Solcial rely exclusively on Solana and IPs, and serve content through IPs gateways if the performances are sufficient for end users. Our first step in the rollout will be to share public data between users using the P2P layer, and then we'll start replicating private data and private feeds with encryption. We will release versions incrementally, v2.1, v2.2, v2.3. to make sure each feature works flawlessly. The final objective of this version will be to have each user client, mobile or desktop app be its own IPs and lib2p gossip node seeding and broadcasting the user's data and the data of their friends. The choice for this iterative approach to launch is that we want to keep on delivering new innovations progressively, without adding many delays between each version, but also to get feedback along the way. This also enables us to gather essential information about user behavior and monitor for system errors during the beta phase, which is much more difficult, if not sometimes impossible, in a completely decentralized architecture. Quickly, I want to talk on transaction speed, like what's the max TPS or requests/second that Solcial can achieve with the P2P network. The notion of TPS stops making sense when posting content on Solcial because there is no central place that processes transactions. Instead, every peer will be processing their own, and the question there becomes, what is the propagation latency? With 3 billion users, Facebook probably handles ± 100 M requests per second. How does Solcial compare? Those kinds of calculations don't apply to the P2P version of Solcial, because in Facebook's case, all those 100 M requests have to go through one server, farm, and one database, and that is the bottleneck. In our case we won't have that. It's like asking what is the maximum speed of BitTorrent, and there is no max. It depends on how many peers you have, you're in their network, etc. Sometimes if some torrent is popular and you're downloading from many peers simultaneously you can get 500 megabytes/s. And sometimes if it is a rare file that is only seeded by one guy with a dial-up connection you can get 2 kilobits/s. Our beacon nodes should help with the latter case, because they would mirror everything. That will be all for today. Kindly check out Solcial app to see some amazing features they offer.